Hello, Vivian. Vivian wants to know, how can you tell whether, when you're looking at them, Vivian, I'm not sure if you have your own cat at home. And there's sort of a universal body language with cats that even extends to these of the largest of all, the African cats. Tail movement and ear movement and frowning. But the ears and the tail are telltale signs when it comes to cats, and it doesn't matter whether it's your tabby at home or it's a big male lion. I wouldn't exactly say lion would be bluffing. It's not a case of bluffing. His ears are up. When he was growling at me, his ears were up. So it's not as though he was bluffing. He was giving a warning, saying, don't come any closer. That is as far as you can come for now. As far as I'll let you come, he was saying. If we were to go any closer, you would notice his ears getting flatter and flatter, facing further and further back. The tail, as you can see now, the tail is just twitching. That's just normal twitching for a cat. But when that tail starts swinging side to side, with a slight pause each time, and different intensities of the way the tail swings, you can actually gauge the cat's aggression from that. But it's generally a combination of both ears and tail. Now if you look at her ears, facing forward like that, she's interested in this fly that's bugging her nose. Ears are facing forward. It's all positive emotion when ears face forward. And as soon as those ears start turning backwards, it becomes negative emotion and aggression. She's not liking that fly. She's enjoying the fly around her face about as much as I do. But I've got an opposable thumb, and I can pick a guarri branch. Once again, I'd like to welcome you to the wilds of Africa and wild earth. Coming to you from the Sabi Sand in South Africa. This is Djuma Game Reserve. My name is Mark. Lion that are mating will spend, but they will mate many, many times over that period. I'm sure. Get up and engage in a very interesting natural process. What's mostly interesting about it is that there are 2 cubs with the pride already. And this potentially can expand the pride some more. And it has been some time since we've had the likes of males, females and cubs together. I don't know where the rest of the group is at the moment. They are a little bit north. The rest of them, I believe, are on Buffelshoek, off to our left, north of us. We are facing east. She's beautiful. Let's see if we can find some features about her that we can recognize in the future. Like a leopard, the lion's gestation is around 100 days, 3 months, 3.5 months. So perhaps towards the end of April there'll be young uns born. Patty, this is one of the Kajima males, and this is one of the Kahuma females. And if you missed that in the last couple of days that we've been viewing them. I was thinking last night, we've now got them hanging around together, and it's quite long-winded to say the Kahumas and the Kajimas. Kajimas and Kahumas, we should just call them Kajumas. Kind of fitting, because this is Juma Game Reserve. What are you going to do now? That, everyone, is one of the most incredible sounds here in Africa. This vehicle was vibrating. In fact, there were one or two loose things. I could hear them rattling. I cannot tell you how that sound goes through your body and electrifies you. He started calling. 50 to 100 yards north of us, the other male and the other female started roaring as well. Don't ever let it be said that lions do not roar during the day, because there are always going to be circumstances where it's an exception rather than the rule. Quite normally, the female initiates the mating. It's quite strange that he got up and initiated it this time. Oh, they are beautiful. And there's a moment during copulation that he will bite her on the back of the neck. And part of that is to but oh, I hope she's not going to go and join the rest of the pride. No, she's just changing position. He won't let her out of his sight during this process. But at the end of copulation, when he has to withdraw, that induces pain in the female, and that in itself promotes ovulation. And it's during that moment that he's withdrawing that some pain is experienced by the female because of a barb on his penis. And it is at that moment that he has to subdue her to stop her from turning around and snapping at him and biting him in the face. They've been at it now for some time, so by now it's not as bad as the first few times, or even when it is a young lioness. The lioness can get very aggressive. That was absolutely incredible. Beautiful line, these lions, and little moment of all. People can get bored with lions because they're very inactive for most of their lives. And this is a unique opportunity to not only watch them, but also hear them in action. This on the word action. Go ahead, Bernie. I can just see you behind this wattle. Confirm you've got a wheel stuff. Have you locked your front wheels? Yeah, sure, we'll do. You need a Land Rover. Yeah, I've got one. I'm saying you need one. Steve and Susan wanting to know how many cubs lions have. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to 6 they can have. They only have 4 mammary glands, 4 nipples, 2 pairs of mammaries. So suckling 6 cubs can pose a problem. But and of course there's a higher mortality rate. She's lying on her back. Evidently that also helps, well, not only ovulation, but it helps fertilization. Hello, Susan. Susan, I haven't the faintest idea, I'm afraid, how old these 2 lions are. Old, anywhere between 5 and 7 years old, maybe. Unfortunately, there's no way of telling. Unless I see her yawning, maybe if I can see her nose a little bit closer, I don't really know. They're adults. I think all that needs to be said is that they are adults. And Susan also wants to know, how many other lions do we see? Well, we see the Styx Pride. I don't even know how many are left in the Styx Pride now. You see the Machingaline males. It's a coalition of 4 males. We don't really see the Mapojos, another coalition that have headed. They seem to be spending more time south now. Since the Mapojos came into being here in this part of the world a couple of years ago, they had somehow decimated the lion population in this northern part of the Sabi Sand by killing a lot of lion, and that was all to gain territory and gain control. But those lions are losing steam, as it were. They're losing their edge as they get older. And the new group that came in, the Machingalines, well, there were 5 of them and 6 of the Mapojos. The Machingalines lost one of theirs to the Mapojos. I do get updates from Pam Lewis. Getting information from other lodges here in the Sabi Sand about the lion in other parts of the reserve. But a lot of that information, I read it, of course, and Janet, sorry, I forgot Janet as well. Didn't mean to forget you, Janet. But I take note of that information. I do read that information. I love having that information. But a lot of it doesn't stay in my head because there's so much else going on in my head at the moment. So what I read yesterday, I won't even remember today about where the Styx were or where other lions are. Basis, let's put it that way. And it's only by watching them on a regular basis that you can really get engrossed in their family lives and the lives of the lion in the area. And apart from that, we have more of an affinity with the leopards here because we see leopard more often, and we keep track of the leopards a lot closer than we do with the lion. And probably, if I had to add up all the times that I've seen the kahumas, it doesn't really add up to that many times. As far as these Kajimas are concerned, I think probably only the fourth or maybe fifth time in 2 years that I'm seeing them. So it is hard to keep track of things when one doesn't see them very often. Dynamics can and will change, and I'm hoping that this year is going to be a year that they're going to be spending more time down here. They did in the past. There's no reason why they shouldn't. We have the prey species. We have enough prey species around for them, especially since they like buffalo. Pinky. Pinky wants to know what's the gestation period for lion. It's about 3.5 months. And very similar to the leopard, around 100 days or so. Susan wants to know if they have more than 4 cubs with another female. Conceive relatively close to each other, so that at a time when they're all having cubs, they're all lactating, and they're one of the few animals that will engage in what we call allosuckling, allowing another one's cubs to suckle. It's part of the strength of the bond within the pride and the strength of the bonds between the females. Well, not really. Yeah, when you compare lion out in the wild like this to lion in a zoo, you've got to remember that these lions have to retain quite a sleek figure, fatter and rounder and big-bellied. These lions just finished a buffalo yesterday. It wasn't a very small buffalo, it was a young yearling. And a lot of that meat by now, coming on to 24 hours later, a lot of that meat has been digested, and I have no doubt that they'd probably go for another buffalo if one came. That's a lot of energy. That's burning up a lot of kilojoules. Looks like he wants to burn off a few more kilojoules. But he's a very healthy man. That. Oh. Didn't get a close look. Was that the bottom right canine that's missing? Coming up to us. Mark his territory. Spraying, much the same way as a leopard does. Hello, Sue, again. Sue wants to know how many lions will be in a pride at any one time. Well, anywhere from... I don't know what you could call the minimum that would make up a pride. I suppose even 3. 2 could consider. Anything, I mean, in the old days, way back when, even, put his head down and gave her a fright. I mean, nowadays your average pride is probably between 10 and 15 individuals. But the numbers fluctuate constantly with... Maybe his brother will take over. It's not impossible, I've seen it before. One male gets tired, the other takes over. Conception doesn't happen every time that they mate. He's got his head on her. It must be heavy, he's complaining. Got to lie right on top of her. He wants to lie down, but he can't, because he's going to roll on her and she's going to snap at him. The only way for him to lie down would be to move again. I'm hoping that roaring is getting loud and clear. Bernie, I can see Elliot approaching. Beautiful thing, get the sky quickly. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry about me. If you can give us what's happening that side is something else. Okay, will do. Necessary radio conversations, yeah, apologies for that. Beautiful orange pink cloud reflecting the sunset behind us. There isn't much of a sunset behind us. In fact, there's more color in the east than there is in the west. He's putting his head down and it's on top of her, and she's going to complain any minute because it's probably stopping her breathing. Hello, Kathy. Kathy's asking if there would be aggression if other members of the Pride were to intrude Well, I think for one thing, other members of the pride are pretty. Well, they'll pretty much keep away from the mating couple. The other male, if the other male was to come along, yes, I think there would be a little bit of a scrap. Nancy, interesting question. Nancy wants to know if she tried to leave, would the male hurt her? No, he wouldn't hurt her. He'd just follow her. As you've seen, as soon as she gets up and moves a few feet on the road, he just follows her. He wouldn't hurt her. But she doesn't want to leave. She wants to conceive. She needs to mate as much as he does. And she's in estrus. Her hormones are telling her that whatever's going on is the right thing to be going on. And there wouldn't really be any need for her to leave. What is so remarkable is having seen all different types of behavior, all the different types, and most of the different types of behavior that lion will portray over the last couple of days. And we've seen them. They're burning all good here, they're still asleep. Look at the snatch strap. Hello, Connie. Connie's saying she's not seeing any affection between these two. Well, I think since they've been at it for a while now, and I heard it last night that they were mating, and it could have been that they were mating for some time before then. There are really wonderful, tender moments with lion when they're all in the pride and they're all lying down. And it doesn't necessarily happen during the mating period, this moment now. If anything, this is all about conceiving the social interaction and the social bonds that they have. I mean, that there's affection showed all the time. And one of the most incredible things is to watch them being affectionate and being close to one another, rubbing on each other, grooming each other. You know how a cat rubs against you? They rub against each other that way, and then within a few minutes they can catch an animal and kill it, and that affection can turn to the utmost aggression, where they're actually fighting with each other, biting each other, claws in each other's faces to get a better grip on the meat. And that is one of the most amazing things about lion, is to see how their moods can change so quickly from very gentle and caring and loving creatures to suddenly fighting and scratching and biting. Questions I can't answer. Only lions can answer these kind of questions. There's nothing really. Kathy's asking, is it typical for males when they take over to kill females? I guess referring to what has been going on here in the Sabi Sand. There's nothing you could really put down in the book as typical. It's kind of a yes and no answer. Yes, they do it, and no, they don't. It depends on so many different factors. The more intense the density, or the denser the lion population, the more intense the aggression will be. Where lions are fighting for territory, and where territory is at a premium, obviously the aggression is going to be a lot more. You know, nature invariably has mechanisms to stop that kind of outright aggression, where death occurs as a result of fighting, where these kind of things can happen. So I guess in some ways, no, not really typical that males will kill females. But it's not that all that unusual when it does come to males trying to carve a new niche in an area and take over a territory. Gosh. Nothing really in nature is written in stone. There's nothing really that is so cut and dried and such a strict rule that there won't be exceptions to the rule, because invariably in every situation that you're going to get, there will be and there are exceptions to rules. I think he's going to start again. Yes, come and do it right next to me. That was pretty intense, the way they ran past us. And I've decided to do another effort down the road. Let's just move out of the way. Sorry, Herman. How are you? Sorry? Can't hear you. This diesel makes a noise. I was going to, but he was giving me the eye. If he wasn't mating, I would have. I wasn't sure what the protocol would have been bringing the Land Rover in. There's a little bit of affection being shown.